Good morning. Hey, you guys, we're in the sunshine. In the sunshine again. Good morning, good morning. Um, I wanted to chat for a minute about, oh gosh, the birds are so beautiful today. Hi, James Johnson. Hi, Tracy Burry. Hi. I wanted to chat just for a minute about our relationship with God. I know it's for me, it feels like a bit of a good morning. Hi, Tessa. Hi, you guys. So in the 12 step in the book Alcoholics Anonymous, it talks a lot in the first 4 chapters about step 1 and also the idea of finding God. And it says that one of the things it says, one of the clues, if you will, is that deep down inside every man, woman, and child is this fundamental idea of God. And, we've been taught through religion a lot of different concepts. And I didn't even, a few years ago, really understand that word of concept. A concept means that it's a, I actually don't know what the dictionary definition is, but it's a way of speaking of something, that describes it, and or that gives us an idea about it. Our mind needs concepts to grasp things, and the trouble with grasping concepts of God is that we then associate that concept with actually being God, and always in the subject of God, the concept is limited. The concept doesn't speak of the immenseness, of the nowness, of the totalness of God. So where do we look for God? Well, it doesn't make sense for us to be looking outside of us. Hi, Toby. It doesn't make sense for us to be looking for God outside of us, does it? I mean, when you really think of it, once we put to bed the idea of concepts, once we realize that God isn't an image, it isn't all of the concepts. Even in the big book, it gives us concepts. It talks about an employer, and I love this concept, God the employer, because it's simple and it works for me, and I use it often, but I do my best to recognize that I could get hooked in that concept and not able to to get hooked in this limited idea. So what if, like it says in our 12-step book, it says God either is or he isn't, either he's everything or he's nothing. And even the idea of he is a concept. Either he's everything or he's nothing. And what if that's true? If that's true, then he is me. And if it's me, this image of me or this idea of me is this looking for this connection, why would I look for it anywhere else than deep down inside of this, inside here, instead of out there? And if he's everything, he's nothing, then he must also be me. He's not just in me separately, but he must be me. So these are a bit difficult things to grasp, because the mind gets confused. Well, if I say I am God, then isn't that ego? Isn't that, well, there is a, beyond the ego, including the ego as well, but beyond the ego is this experience of God. Because we can't describe God, but we can experience. We can have an experience of the one, in the now. And as we grasp that, as we become aware of that oneness, that Godness in this moment, it changes us. We recognize that we are not alone. We recognize that we're not stuck in our ideas of how we should be. And we recognize that we are one. So that's often, I look at now scripture, lots of scripture makes more sense. There was one that said, "Be still and know that I am God." Wow, that's, and who is the I am? We are the I am. And just that we've gotten caught in our ideas of who we are. So just very simple message today, just relax, breathe into this moment. And if you're not experiencing the oneness of this, if you're not experiencing the here-ness of this, then just ask. Say, in a way, just say, "God, show yourself," and we can kind of pray to see, and past the veil of the mind. How's everybody doing? Any questions? Any thoughts? Any ideas? Love it if you had a man call me yesterday. It was beautiful. He was concerned about his son, and we just talked about those things. And so if you feel to call and chat, I don't know if I'll have anything, but who's the I? Something will come. Something will come. It's a beautiful world, and we're here, to be with each other and to enjoy, and we don't have to isolate. Often mind tells us that we're alone. Mind tells us that, nobody will understand. Or mind kind of figures it all out and says there's no sense talking to anybody because I already know the answer. And we get stuck in there. So just reach out, talk to folks that, maybe are... you wouldn't be on this call if spirituality, if spiritual growth wasn't a huge high value for you, if you weren't drawn to that in your life, so there's a reason we're here together. I mean, if there wasn't one, we can make one up. Is it the 20th? My gosh, June the 20th. Look at that. I've been really working on, I gotta have this old motorcycle. It's actually, it is old. It's like 22 years old, and it got broke. It broke, that was a fact. It was broken, and I took it to my brother-in-law's place, who's an amazing mechanic, and we pulled it apart. And he does super duper work, and he fixed it. We fixed it together. I helped out a bit, and so I'm going to go visit my daughter and grandchildren and stuff. I'm enjoying that idea without holding it too tightly, right? Remember, identities can keep us separate. So yes, I'm enjoying the granddad thing without holding it too tightly. Okay. Thought for the day. Okay, here we go. You, if you're, and this goes for even if you're not in AA, this really goes for, it doesn't matter. There's, what I would call spiritual seekers. No matter what you're doing, this I think applies. He says you should. I'm never big on shoulds, but let's just say be ready and willing to carry the AA message when called upon to do so. I took out the you should. Just be ready and willing to carry the AA message when called upon to do so. Live with some purpose greater than yourself. Each day you will have something to work for. You've received so much from the 12 steps from this program that you should, that you have, let's leave out the should, that you have a vision that gives your life direction. It gives your life a direction and a purpose that gives meaning to each new day. Beautiful. Let us not slide along through life. Let us have a purpose for each day, and let us make that purpose for something greater than ourselves. What is my purpose for today? And I believe, I really do believe that we've been so blessed, and to give this away, to be there to help people see the God within them, that that God is all things, that we're not here alone. We're, I love the question, tell me who you are. Tell me who you are. Because when we go deep into that, we recognize that we really don't know. We're a sum of our stories? No. So we don't really know. And so recognize that whoever you're speaking with doesn't know. Really, they don't know. And so it's a beautiful thing to help them to see that we are this oneness. It takes all the stress out of the deal. Okay, meditation for the day. To see God with the eyes of faith is to cause God's power to manifest itself in a material form. God, it says, cannot do his work because of unbelief. In response to your belief, God can work a miracle in your personality. So yes, there's a requirement, I think, for some faith. It seems that there's a requirement for some faith. All miracles happen, although we're not governed by our faith. Do you know what I mean? We're not limited by our faith. I don't believe we're limited by our faith. I think the miracle can be much bigger than we believe it could have been. I hear that all the time. People who've had an experience, a God experience, a oneness experience, a now experience, a spiritual experience, are often like, oh my God, I had no idea. So they really didn't know. They had some faith that there was something, but they had no, it was like, oh my gosh, it's right here. So faith is required, but we're not limited by it. And that would be to say that we could only kind of grow as fast as we can understand, and understanding isn't needed at all. God cannot do his work because of unbelief. In response to your belief, God can work a miracle in your personality. All miracles happen in the realm of personality, and all are caused by and based on belief in God's never-failing power. I'm not sure. So I would argue with this guy. He says, but God's power cannot manifest itself in personalities unless those personalities make his power available by their faith. So a certain amount of faith is required. I believe that's true. I do. Okay, I'll go with it. But I think it's also grace. Grace it's a gift. It's a gift. We can only see God with the eyes of faith, but this kind of seeing produces a great change in our way of living. So, okay. All right. I'll go with this one is, there's... I'll go with it. I'll read it, and I'll go with it, and And I'll pray actually for more faith myself. I pray, it says, that I may see God with the eyes of faith. I pray that this seeing will produce a change in my personality. A change in my personality. Okay, so that's it for today. That's the thought for the day. And just then the prayer for the day, the meditation for the day. And with faith that God is, just that God is, not that God is in some religion, or God is in some image, or God is in some, of course he's in everything, but just that God is much more personal. And just breathe and feel the experience of being here now. And in this moment, experiencing this moment, is the presence of God. It's simple. Very simple. Okay, guys. Love you lots. Talk soon. Oh, we're going to be down at Cain's today selling tickets on a raffle. We have I'm working at Fresh Start, and we have a motorcycle there, and I really like doing it. I love being there and selling tickets and meeting all the people, and it's fun. So drop in and see us at Cain's in Inglewood today, and that would be just so cool. Thank you, Tracy. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Right on. And Toby, Kate, love you too. Talk to you guys soon. Bye. Come see us today. Oh, and follow us on YouTube. I pitch YouTube sometimes. Bowing Beyond on YouTube. Thanks.